definitely not going to go in any world or any state. We got an interesting one tonight. Okay, so January 13th, 2024, 261, without a cigarette, 19. Since drinking, 13 without smoking weed, 13 without vaping, 11 out of 13 physical activity, 11 out of 13 flossing. Yes. 12 out of 13 meditating, 4 out of 13 core, 1 out of 13 cold shock therapy, 4 out of 13 no fap, 10 out of 13 research, reading, whatever. 4 out of 10 physical health, 7 out of 10 mental health, 6 out of 10 career productivity, 7 out of 10 friendships, relationships, 7 out of 10 general happiness. Day 8,020 out of 14,600. Up at 9 a.m. Showered, packed, and left for the day for about 10:30. Took the 26 to Uptown Shopping Center at McDonald's for a latte, junior chicken, and a sausage McMuffin until 11:15. At the library from about noon till about 2 p.m. And working on investment goals at the library. At Timmy's for a Bailey's coffee and a bagel. And then I was at Country Grocer, so I took the 26 back. I was at Country Grocer, just a little shopping grocery store. About 14:15, so about 2:15 to 2:30. Just grabbing some collagen, quercetin, floss, NAC, blueberries, a sandwich, and a smoothie. So that's Series Coffee for Coastal Mint Peach Tea. And then at the library from 3 till 4:45, working on the aeroplan tickets for my little brother. And I was at this study cove just down the hall from 5 till 5:50. Then I went down, grabbed supper, and then I was back up in the study cove, did the plane ticket vendetta, de-stressed, and then, plane ticket vendetta till about 7 p.m. and I was eating while I was doing that. Then I was calling my parents and discussing my existential crisis. De-stressed for the first half, and then I was justifying the stress for the second half. I was chatting with my friend from back home from 8:15 till 10 o'clock, and then I was watching my Jolo's objective journaling until 10:45, packed and left the study cove for about 11, brushed teeth, Jolo until about 11:30, and then meditating until 11:45, and I should be in bed for about midnight. 2 roses, I'm happy that I called my parents. It's always nice. And I'm happy that I wasn't at home all day. Happy to have left. Got some sun in, because I need it. I'm brown. 1 thorn. I'm bothered by how riled up I got about Air Canada. I was throwing a temper tantrum, I swear, because I was on hold for an hour, then they hung up, and then the card wasn't working, and the card wasn't working again. And then I lost about $300 or something like that because of this fiasco. Anyways, 1 thorn. I'm bothered by, so 1 but. I'm looking forward to proving my system. We're going to talk about that in a sec. 1 memory, the rewards for the point system back home. So when we were growing up, there was a point system for, it's 11:11 right now. Every time it is 11:11, make sure that you touch base with your dream and dream about it and figure out what you need in life. And then make a little prayer to yourself. Promise to yourself that you're going to do it. That's my moment. Okay. So we had, so as we were growing up, we had a little reward system, little point system, and it was internal to our family, and it was fantastic. Every time we did chores, every time we did something, it tracked your progress. Every time we did something good, our little activity, it tracked it, recorded it, and then you got to earn points and awards, and that in itself, I think, is a very important system that you could implement in multiple different areas of your life. Fitness, 0 hours. Career, 5 hours. Living, 2 hours. Growing, 3 hours. Rest and recovery, 5. And sleeping, 9. So, I know that these journal logs right now are not that entertaining. I really don't care. They are for my own personal growth, and I don't think that's selfish. I know that the quality of the content is there if you are actively listening for the content. I'm trying to present certain concepts that are potentially important, but I think what anyone who looks at these journal logs should take away is that I have certain systems of tracking and quantifying my progress, and everybody should have some systems that they can touch base on regularly. So there's 2 points in there that I said I was de-stressing for the first half and justifying stress for the second half during a conversation. So 2 different people, 2 different perspectives. De-stressing was one thing, but the justifying stress. So, over the last several years, I've been finding different systems of tracking and quantifying growth. And what's crazy is I believe that it gives you the ability to grow past those factors of control. And some of these factors of control would be how you structure your time, how you structure your socializing life. If you aren't aware of your tendencies, then you're not going to be able to control your tendencies or, mediate certain factors of your life, like sort of divide them up and equally grow different factors, right? So in a well-rounded, idealistic environment, you would be growing everything simultaneously the same way, right? Or at the same rate, right? But what happens if you can enter a flow state into all these growths and you could, because you're dividing and specifying certain segments of time into certain different things. But anyways, so my point is some of the systems that I've been working on, obviously, my objective journal is one of my most important ones, which is what I share with you, which is what I find, to me, it is very precious. To you, I really don't care if you find it precious or not. That's not why we're here. Creative outlet, subjective journal, right? Ideas do not die, right? So many people say that there was ideas that they had that died along the way. I have a journal to preserve those ideas, right? Maybe I'll read over them one day, maybe I won't. If not me, then my kids one day, or friends, whoever gets everything when I die. Anyways, there are systems that I'm trying to implement, such as my finance system, right? Every single month, I've broken, leisure, bills, recreation, drugs, booze, socializing, investments, travel fund, right? Money can be put into these different boxes, and those boxes can be limited. Those accounts can be limited, right? So you can put those budgets, those monthly budgets onto those different lifestyles or, life obligations, right? Because I'm not going to say I'm not going to ever go out and spend any money, but then all of a sudden I'll go and spend $300 on a set of headphones because they're nice and because I feel like I need them, right? How can you justify that, right? You allocate certain assets to certain accounts. And step 2 is the time frame, right? What time frame are you operating all those account obligations? And a lot of people will abandon certain financial awareness pursuits because it's overloading and it's stressing out now. But if you prepare to fail and if you only approximate, then you allow that room for error and you literally try and do better than that error. So you have to account for the error. But anyways, that sounds stupid. I'm trying to speak as abstractly as possible, but when I was sitting in the library, I wrote down every single quarter during 2023 all those different facets of my finance that I was talking about, how much I invested, where my investments were, what my plans were for this year, and right now, with the numbers that I'm currently making, it's completely unrealistic, right? There's no way that I'm gonna ever be able to, 2-3 times my income next year, theoretically, unless I, get a secondary income or really, really crack down on budgeting. But we will see. There's going to be many different opportunities that are going to show up this year, which I hope that I'm prepared for and that I seize and that I'm properly educated, because I think there's certain types of education. Anyways, there's certain ways of structuring your education and your scope of education, right? So as much as I want to learn about engineering and trades work, I think that the medical field is very important and the financial foundations is very important, if not just as important. I'd say financial foundations are more important, but right now I'm sort of equalizing it to my medical research. So this one's my engineering sort of taking up like a backseat almost, sort of like a 20% to 40-40 sort of thing on my studying focus. But yeah. Anyways, some people are questioning these obsessive systems that I have, like every single day being structured to the hour approximately within. Every single week having, 15, 20 goals. Every single month having 5 priorities, having a general ratio of progression. There's different goals for every time frame. And I think that's a very important distinction, especially when you're trying to establish systems to operate on those different time frames. And not just that, but how do you track that progress? How do you chase something while still receiving, you know, the positive reinforcement for your progress, right? So I think it's up to those internal systems and the development of those internal systems. And I think that if you become so distracted, then you ignore the reality of, you know, autopiloting through life, because a lot of people I find autopilot, and I don't want to autopilot. I feel like it's important to be very aware of your tendencies and to build ways or create ways of separating you and your identity from these distractions. Anyways, that's just where my mind's going tonight, at least. And I was in a really, really, really shitty mood all day up until about 7 p.m. And then I finally got to, and it's crazy because I feel like I've been misleading myself in the development of these obsessive systems, these obsessive little tracking things. But when else am I going to set them up, right? Life is going to get very busy over the next several years. And I think there is no better time but now to start building the systems that are going to be able to cope, and they're going to be able to manage, and I'm going to be able to apply and organize so many different responsibilities, because there's going to be so many different obligations, from volunteering to hopefully philanthropist obligations, to social obligations, to hereditary obligations, to familial obligations. Everything in that scope is going to be coming at once. And I think that if you have the right systems to fall back on, then you'll be able to manage, and you'll be able to cope, and you'll be able to organize your days so that you can re-energize and you can put your body into proper cycles, and you're not going to burn out, right? I'm worried about burning out. Everybody should be worried about burning out. I've been doing it all over the last several years. I'm going to keep doing it, but I'm hoping that I can prolong that time and I can handle more stuff during that loading phase, I guess, before the regeneration phase. And I hope that I can time my burnouts so that I can actually decompress during those burnouts. And I think that that's going to be an important distinction in the next system that I'm going to start building, preparing for burnout, because it happens. It's going to happen. I'm excited for it to happen because you learn the most. But anywho, I need to start getting different types of content on. I'm really not in a rush for all intents and purposes. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I won't. I probably won't, because I like procrastinating for some reason. And apparently I'm not doing as much as some other people in this world. So yeah, I'm behind, frankly. A little bit insane, but still behind all at the same time, which kind of infuriates me, actually. So thank y'all for tuning in. If you aren't, then you're missing out as always. But yeah, happy January 13th. Let it be another day to forget and never remember, and not have any memories of, if you're not taking journal logs every single night. Toodles.